Once upon a time, there were two best friends, a frog and a toad. Sounds simple, right? I mean, we've all heard of frogs and toads being pals in storybooks. So what's so special about these two? Well, let me tell you, it's Frog and Toad by Arnold Lobel, and trust me, these two take friendship to a whole new level. They've got all the quirks, the ups and downs, and the simple, everyday adventures that make you go, ah, yes, that's what friendship is all about. So, pull up a chair, maybe grab a cup of tea or a lily pad, if you're feeling extra froggy, and let me walk you through this delightful little gem of a story. The beginning, Frog and Toad. Frog is, well, a frog. He's cheerful, optimistic, and tends to see the bright side of things. Much like that friend who always tells you to look on the sunny side of life, even when you've just spilled coffee all over your favorite shirt. Toad, on the other hand, is his perfect opposite. He's a little grumpy, a tad anxious, and can't quite see the silver lining in most situations. But somehow, that's what makes their friendship work. It's like pairing peanut butter with jelly, two different things that somehow fit perfectly together. The story begins with Frog and Toad having a little chat. It's the kind of conversation you have with your bestie when you're lying on the couch together. Not doing anything special, but just talking. Frog, being his sunny self, is all about the plans they should make, the things they should do. He's got ideas. He's got dreams. Toad, being a little more grounded in reality, and by grounded, I mean he's almost a walking anxiety machine, is the one to bring everything down to earth. Frog's enthusiasm meets Toad's skepticism in a perfectly adorable way. The first adventure, Spring. In the first story, titled Spring, Frog is feeling it. The weather is getting warmer, and he's practically bursting with joy at the thought of spring. He's ready to get out there, smell the flowers, and maybe even go for a swim. But Toad? Toad's not buying it. He's too busy inside, grumbling about how it's not warm enough yet, or how there's still too much of a chill in the air. You know that friend who always has an excuse not to go out. Yep, that's Toad. But what's really heartwarming and hilarious is how Frog doesn't give up on Toad. He keeps encouraging him, "Come on, Toad. Spring is here." And when Toad finally drags himself out of his cozy little house to join Frog, he's hit with the realization that, yes, spring is indeed here, and maybe it's not so bad after all. The friendship dynamic, Toad's worries, Frog's optimism. The beauty of Frog and Toad's friendship lies in their differences. Frog is the eternal optimist, always seeing the glass as half full, while Toad is a worrier, quick to doubt and slow to trust. These two characters have been designed with such brilliance because they're the embodiment of the different sides of our personalities. Frog is that part of us that wants to leap forward and take risks, while Toad is that cautious side that's always looking for the catch. Their adventures, from planting seeds to waiting for them to grow, to making sure they don't lose track of time in their daily routines, are as much about their internal struggles as they are about the external events. For instance, Toad may not be able to understand Frog's joy about the arrival of spring, but when he finally gets into the spirit, it's like a reminder of how even the grumpy ones have their moments of joy when they least expect it. The meaning of friendship, lessons along the way. What makes the stories of Frog and Toad so relatable is that each one is a lesson about friendship. It's not just about having fun together or going on adventures. It's about understanding each other's flaws and quirks and supporting each other through the thick and thin. There's a scene where Toad is feeling particularly down because he thinks nothing is going right, and Frog steps in to reassure him with a hug, saying, "You are my friend, and I will help you." Simple, isn't it? But so powerful. Sometimes, that's exactly what we need from our friends. Someone who just shows up without judgment and says, "I'm here for you." And then there's the story of Frog and Toad trying to be brave. I can't help but chuckle when I think of the hat story, where Frog tries to help Toad pick out a new hat. Toad's indecisiveness leads to hilarious situations where, in the end, he ends up getting the same old hat. The humor lies in the fact that Toad's a bit of a drama queen when it comes to decision-making, and Frog, in his usual patient manner, sticks by him through the process. Toad's frustration is so relatable that you can't help but laugh at how seriously he takes the situation. In the end, it's a perfect example of how friends don't need to fix everything. They just need to be there. The heart of their adventures, growth and change. As we go through each story and Frog and Toad are friends, we see a progression in their relationship. They start to understand each other better, and despite their differences, they find ways to grow together. Frog helps Toad when he's sad or worried, and Toad does the same for Frog in his own way. It's a give-and-take relationship that's far more complex than it appears at first glance. The stories are short, simple, and yet so profound. Whether they're trying to fly kites, bake cookies, or simply wait for things to happen, they learn that life isn't about rushing through it. It's about enjoying the moments, even the small ones, and having someone to share those moments with. The humor in friendship. I think what really makes Frog and Toad so lovable is the humor. It's not slapstick or forced. It's the kind of humor that comes naturally in the most unexpected of situations. You know, the kind of humor that happens when two friends are so comfortable with each other that they can laugh at their own missteps. And it's this humor that makes the deeper moments stand out even more. For instance, when Frog convinces Toad to plant some seeds, Toad is reluctant, but Frog remains optimistic, repeating, "Just wait." So, they plant the seeds, and Frog waits eagerly for them to grow. Meanwhile, Toad, being Toad, is like, "I'm sure nothing will happen," and guess what? Nothing happens, and they both get a little discouraged. But just when they're about to give up, a miracle happens, and the seeds start to grow. The payoff is both comical and heartwarming, because it's not just about the seeds growing. It's about their relationship growing too. The quiet moments. Not every moment in Frog and Toad are friends is about big adventures or dramatic events. Some of the best moments are the quiet ones, like when Frog and Toad simply spend time together. It's a reminder that friendship doesn't always have to be filled with excitement and fireworks. Sometimes, the best memories are made when you're just sitting together, talking or not talking, sharing space and time. Final thoughts. A friendship that lasts. In conclusion, Frog and Toad Are Friends is more than just a children's book. It's a timeless exploration of the beauty of friendship. The stories are simple, but the messages are deep. They teach us about loyalty, patience, understanding, and most importantly, the importance of being there for each other no matter what. What's so magical about this book is how it takes something as ordinary as a frog and a toad and turns it into an extraordinary tale of two friends who show us what it means to love, to laugh, and to grow together. In a world that can often feel chaotic, Frog and Toad are a reminder that friendship is the glue that holds everything together. So, next time you're feeling a little down, maybe all you need is a frog to remind you of the good things in life, or a toad to give you that little nudge when you need it most. Whatever the case, one thing is certain. Friendship is the greatest adventure of all. Stay tuned for more enlightening content. Head over to www.mybooksummary.com. Don't forget to subscribe and share the magic with friends, and let's grow together through the power of books and interesting stories.